want 2 kids, beautiful. I want a village. I want a bunch of kids running around. I want I drive a 15-passenger van and I want to fill it.
That's amazing.
And so
Fill it. When you make your own bread, you make these extravagant meals. You make everything from scratch. And I'm wondering, what are the kids doing in those moments?
A lot of people judged me because co-sleeping is unsafe, and I was just co-sleeping isn't safe if you do it wrong.
Right.
So I did a bunch of research into the right ways to co-sleep.
Yep. I didn't know, but our friend told me that you have great diaper bag organization. I need to know about this diaper bag organization. What's the secret?
I just look at Jesus and I'm just like, oh my gosh, help me. I can't do this. I wouldn't be able to do this without you. You have given me such a blessing, but I have to look at you as an example too of how the Father is. And I really love worship music and prayer.
Hi mamas, my name is Megan Norkis and welcome to Our Virtual Village. Starting this podcast was inspired by a local mom group that I went to during my pregnancy and postpartum journey. Connecting with and relating to other moms was a major key for me as I was navigating all the new things that come with being a new mom. So my goal with this podcast is to bring those conversations and stories from my community to a virtual platform, and that's gonna bless moms everywhere. I'm so excited. My hope is that as you listen to this episode, you can hear from and learn about the common struggles that other moms are having in the trenches of motherhood with you, and feel encouraged because you're not momming alone. We are all winging it at this mom thing, and we can all learn from and help each other. So we're excited to have you as part of our village, and let's dive into the conversation.
Well, I'm so excited for today's conversation because I'm sitting with what I would call a seasoned mom. Hope is a mom of 3 kids so far. I know you want many more kiddos, but I have so much to learn from you. And so I know that other moms that listen to this also will learn so much. So thanks for taking your time out today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
It's so fun when I record with seasoned moms because I know you have to literally move heaven and earth to be here by yourself in a quiet room. And it feels almost like a vacation, right?
It does. Yes. Yes.
So wild. Well, I know it's a sacrifice, so thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
And we can just kind of dive right in to who you are, how many kids you have, what does this season of motherhood look like for you? Where are you at right now?
So I have 3 kids, a 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 8-month-old. What season am I in? It's busy but fun. I always tell people that 3 kids is easier than 1 kid because it's just you've done it 3 times now, and the youngest one is just going with the flow, and your oldest is also old enough to help, and it's just, I think it's easier, and I'm just in the season of chaotic but fun.
Chaotic but fun. I like that. That's the words I need to hear because I'm walking into my season, with 2, and it's just kind of crazy because some people talk about how hard it's going to be, and you're starting over, and newborns are so hard and stuff, which of course there are seasons that are hard and every season has a little bit of challenges and things. But as I was kind of just chatting with you about some of your strengths and things you want to grow in, you're I love all stages of motherhood. So I love when people have a positive view. So if you love all stages of motherhood, even though they do all have their own challenges, what are some of the most beautiful parts of each season? Because right now, you've had a newborn and going on an 8-month-old. You have your middle child is totally in the middle of toddlerhood, and then your oldest is finally starting to be a little, a little independent, like a school-aged kid.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite things about each of those seasons?
Well, Juliet's 5 and she's just so fun to talk to. I feel like I can have real conversations with her, and she's just getting into her, I'm really fun. And so we'll sit in the car and listen to music, and she's singing the songs with me, and we're dancing, and we can just have fun. The flip side of it is she's a little sassy, but we love that. We love, growing a confident girl. It's just sometimes figuring out the right way to approach and talk to her about certain things. Alex is 3.
She has the most fun personality, I will say.
She does. She is a fun girl.
Yeah. My word for Juliet is inquisitive. She asks good questions. I'm
she does.
Are you 15? Am I talking to a grown-up right now?
She asked me what God looked like. She wanted to know what God looked like so she could know what he looked like. And that was a hard one for me to navigate with her. And I was just that's such a good question. But
let's Google it.
That's I was like, that's hard to describe Juliet. And so she definitely has them good questions that get you thinking.
I love it. Inquisitive. That's my word.
Alex is really sweet. He is my hardest kid and has been since the moment he came out of me.
And how old is he right now?
He is 3. He just turned 3 in April. But he is really sweet. Like loves his baby sister to like a core. He loves his big sister to a core. He wants to do everything she does. Like we'll say, what do you want? A burger or a hot dog? And he goes, what does Juliet want? Aww. And whatever Juliet wants, he wants that too. So cute. He's very sweet. He still has his challenges with he's a middle child. I told Blake from the beginning that he was a middle child and we only had 2 at that point. And he was like, we don't even have more kids. And I was like, he's a middle kid.
He's going to be the middle child.
He is.
And what is it that makes you say that? Because I'm kind of creating a middle child right now.
It's just like the second he popped out, I can't really describe him perfectly, but I just felt in my core, I was just like, everything you do is just like that middle child. And he's just, he really is such a sweet soul, but he is really hard and I think he's over the hump of being really hard, but he would just like scream for no reason. I couldn't reason with him, whereas Juliet at 2-year-old, I was reasoning with that girl. Like her and I, we could have like a conversation and I could reason with her. Alex would just like throw himself on the floor sobbing and I over like not having a blue spoon over a purple one or whatever. And I was like, I did all my tips and trick on like hey, how can I make you feel better? Like, can I do this? Can I like try and distract and this and that? And it was just like, no. And so I am definitely starting to figure him out more, but he's my hardest one.
That's very interesting because I'm having a second girl and in my family, I'm the oldest, I'm a girl. And I've always heard firstborn daughters are just,
that's me.
Superior.
I'm the firstborn daughter.
They're just like very responsible. They usually listen, especially just being the only one with your mom. I feel like just naturally, there's more obedient and stuff from what I've heard and experienced personally. And that's kind of what I would say about my daughter, Evelyn, who's, 1.5. I'm like, she's a first daughter for sure. And so, but in my mom had a boy next and said, honestly, some of the exact same things you're saying. She's like, what the heck? And so I always just thought it was boys, but I've also now I'm considering I'm having a girl second. So I'm like, what is this going to be like?
I have some friends that have some feisty second girls, man. I always say the second child's a different breed. They really are. You just have to learn them and love them and just know that there'll be days that'll probably be hard. But every family has like that one. There's always one in the crowd. And it's like normally those second kids. And so you just got to figure them out and you'll get there. And like you'll have hardship sometimes and that's okay. And you have a good community that you'll be able to reach out to and be like, okay, I'm going to pull my hair out. Like what do I do? And that's why community is so beautiful. But the second kids, man. There's
how did Juliet handle that?
She loved him.
Really?
I've never had a child that didn't love the next one that came.
So sweet. I just mean too, like if he was crying about stuff and like kind of more challenging, was she just like, what is up with this kid?
Yeah, she was almost 2.5. So she was still kind of young when he was born. And I really think that she did not care. Like, I mean, he would scream and scream and scream. And I've never seen it faze her. Sweetheart. Yeah, she really is just a sweetheart. And she loved her brother from day one.
That's so precious. I love even like just talking to moms who have multiple kids. I'm so fascinated with like creating siblings. Like I'm so excited to step into that, like creating a family. It's so incredible.
It really is so beautiful. And like there's so many things that come with it. I think that going from 1 to 2 was harder than going 0 to 1 personally, but harder in different ways than I feel like a lot of people talk about hardship just because Alex was hard. I don't think it was the 1 to 2. I've always wanted a bunch of kids, love kids, like feel like I can, take 5 kids and go to Walmart. Like I've always been that way. It was just Alex I could never leave Alex without him screaming. He was attached to me from 6 months until 18 months and I couldn't do anything. So that part was hard, but throwing another kid in the mix, you also, from having one, you also know so much more. Like breastfeeding was easy for me because I had Juliet and had done it for how many months I breastfed? 22 months I breastfed her.
Amazing.
And so that was easier. And just like also throwing a kid on my back and just going for a walk, or, you know, those first time mom things sometimes are harder, but then you have the second, you're like, I got this.
Yeah. I feel like there's just such a huge like identity shift that happens when you have one kid. You're like, so now I go to the store and I have to do all these extra things. But now I guess what you're saying that I will experience, but can't speak from experience yet, is now you're just like, yeah, okay, there's just another one.
Yeah,
you know,
honestly.
I bet it's harder in different ways, you know, okay, I'm going to wear one and hold this one's hand. And you're always trying to do like 10 things at once. But
10 things at once.
Yeah.
But
Or
also
20 or
like
30.
as you see your oldest one grow, it's really cool to watch them become a big sibling.
Start to
it's
delegate.
So beautiful. Yeah,
delegate things. I need your help. Okay, and then we have, you call her Bella, right?
Isabella, yeah.
So cute. And she's 8 months old.
Yeah.
So what do you love about this season, about the babies?
She has such a kind heart. She is, I feel like when you hold her, she just like looks into your soul and like sees you. And she is my first one that is like that. My sister, so she's named after my sister. My sister her name is Faith, but Bella is Isabella Faith. And I feel like she just like embodies my sister. Like my sister's very kind-hearted and loves people, and Bella just like snuggles into you and like sees you and is so kind. And I just also feel like being older, having a third one, I'm so much more grateful in the season that I am to have like taking it a little bit slower. With Alex, it was hard, and so I kind of was like, okay, when he gets older he'll be easier, when he gets older he'll be easier, and I wasn't like sitting in this like motherhood right then and there with him. Whereas Bella, I feel like I am just like in awe of her every day and seeing her growing and just like loving every bit of her. Like she's funny, she will sit while I do dishes, which I've never had a baby that did that. I mean, like ever.
That's amazing. I know my husband says stuff like that. He's like, hopefully our next baby can just sit by herself for a few minutes here and there.
Maybe,
Evelyn like clings. She's
that was Juliet and
cleaner.
Alex. Yeah, both of them. And so I'm like doing dishes and I'm watching her sit and play, and I'm like,
you're 8 months old.
What is going
What's
on?
happening?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on?
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Like, this is a beautiful. So everything about Bella, I think, is just, I'm in awe of her. Like it feels different with her than it did with the other two.
Yeah. I'm just so intrigued by that. Like how, when I was talking with Amberly, who's on the podcast a few episodes ago, I'm like grilling her because I'm like, how do you just learn to parent each personality different? Like the way they show up is different. Even you have an 8-month-old, you're like, I can just feel her differently. Like their presence, their spirit, everything's just so personalized. You know, it's like so unique to that person. You know, each time a new family member is born. So like, I don't know, I'm just amazed by that. Do you have any advice for me or any other moms walking into meeting a new baby, like how you just adapt, or like maybe even Alex is still having a hard moment, you know, because he's still, you know, 3. I've heard that 3s sometimes are even harder than 2s, you know, so it's like, but you have a baby that you're trying to soak in, and I have a toddler, but Juliet wants to spend time with you. Like, how do you show up as your best self for all of them, sometimes at the same time?
Well, I think that's a hard question, because I'm definitely not my best self 24/7. I mean, we're moms, and we, you know, when our toddler's having a bad day, we sometimes need to remind ourselves that we can also have a bad day. And that's normal, I think, for our, you know, moms, for anyone really. And so, you know, in the moment, sometimes, you know, if Bella's screaming and Alex is screaming, Juliet rarely screams. But if that's happening and I'm seeing Alex, I can sometimes, I'm like, Blake, you take Bella. I'm just going to have a heart-to-heart with Alex right now. I'm going to ask him if he needs a hug. I'm going to look him in the eyes and say, Mommy loves you. Like, what do you need in this moment? And sometimes just that like regulation of like, I'm not paying attention to the baby. I'm paying attention to you, helps him in those moments. And same with Juliet, if she's having a hard time, like ignoring the other two, not like literally, but you know, Blake's got the other 2, and you go to her and say, okay, Mommy's right here. Just because you're 5 doesn't mean that you've got it all together, and you still need your mom. I still need my mom at 27.
Me too.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you know, just it is hard to do. I don't do a lot of stuff being like by themselves, which as they get older, I would like to do more of just like a mommy and Juliet date or a mommy and Alex date. I don't think I'm in that season just with having Bella and being a baby. We'll get there one day, but it's just not right now. But, you know, learning who they are as well helps me in these areas, knowing what their love language is. Like Juliet's is physical touch. She loves to be snuggled. And then Alex is words of affirmation. So giving him like kind words and loving on him always helps in those moments to make them feel special. And, you know, like I said, I don't have a lot of alone time with them, but we're all together all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Blake works from home. So it's, you know, it's really easy for me to be like, hey, I need you to hold the baby while I just like play with the big kids or whatever it is.
That's perfect. And I think you said something that is so underrated, which is like understanding your kids' love languages or personality types. I'm like just kind of starting to branch into that when it comes to my child.
Yeah.
Because my husband and I, especially because we've both been entrepreneurs for a while, we've done so many personality tests and strength finders and like all these different things where it really helped our marriage so much, because certain things that I used to be like, it's so annoying that Alex does this, and be like, I don't know why Megan like always blah, blah, blah. But then we learned, and I'm like, oh, that's a strength of his. Or he's like, actually, it's really cool that, because like one thing he used to kind of be annoyed at is I sometimes don't like take quick action or something. He's like, you should do this. I'm like, I have to process. I need to make a plan. I like, you know, that's just my personality. And when we didn't understand that there were even personality types and like different ways people's brain works, he almost like, and he'll say this too, so I'm not like ratting on him or anything, but he like almost looked at it as like a weakness. Like, why wouldn't you just do it? Like, we know what we need to do. Let's do it. But then when he learned about my personality type, he's like, oh, it's actually a strength that like you really like are more calculated and more, you know, specific with the way you want to do things, and then you can usually achieve them better. And so now I just talked to one of our mutual friends, and she's talking about how you can look at your kids' personality types. I'm like, oh, this is a game changer. Like, I don't know why that didn't dawn on me, but that's super important to like understand how unique each of them are. And their needs.
Robert Rome, I don't know if you know who that is, but he does a whole study on, it's called the DISC personalities. And that's where I learned all about personalities. And I love languages, obviously Gary Chapman, and he's awesome too. And we've gone to seminars, and my parents have been to a million seminars of Robert Rome. But there's a book called it's some parenting different children for their different needs or something like that. And it's all about the different personalities in kids. So like what might work for Juliet is not going to work for Alex. And Juliet is me to a T. So, and it's almost like a disadvantage for her because I know her so well. I know how her brain works.
She can blink the one direction. You're like, I know what you're thinking.
I know exactly what you're thinking. And she does hilarious stuff, and I'm like, I'll call her out for it. And she's like,
how did you know that?
Yeah. And I'm like, Juliet, I think like you. I know exactly what you're thinking. And she's like, what? And so learning her versus Alex versus Bella. I mean, Bella's still little, so I'm still, there's not much to learn, I feel like, at her age. But Alex is certainly, I'm starting to figure him out and the different personality that he is. But I think it's so important because, again, what works for Juliet doesn't work for Alex and vice versa. And so
that's got to be challenging too.
Yeah, it is challenging. But also one of the things that Robert Rome talks about that is so cool is that he was having a really hard time with his teenager and not understanding how to get her in bed basically at the time that he wanted her to go to bed. And he went to this seminar where someone was talking about the personalities, and they basically said you have to say what you want to say in a different way for her. And he did that, and he said that she was in bed by 10. And he was floored that this girl he changed the way he phrased it, and she did exactly what he wanted her to do. And cool. So sometimes I feel like in motherhood we get in that stuck of like, they're not listening, what is going on, whereas we have to like step back and go, okay, is there a different way I can phrase this for this child? And so I feel like with the personality, with me learning that, I have an advantage sometimes on like understanding the way they think and can help them also in times where they need help.
Yeah, that's super, super important.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like I have so much to learn. Like, this is why I love talking to seasoned moms. It gets me excited, but I'm also like, wow, I am in the very beginning of motherhood, you know, with just one kid, not even two. There's just so much more to learn.
There is a lot to learn, but there's so much beauty in it. It's so beautiful. Every stage has something fun. Every stage has something hard. But it's like, as long as you like, I feel like lately I've been really trying to change my perspective on things. And instead of thinking that things are hard, which they are, and that's okay, just being so incredibly grateful for 3 healthy kids that are mine, that I got to have at home, that are healthy, that like love Jesus and want to go to church, and just like there's so much beauty in that. And so sometimes in the days that are like really hard, I have to like step back and I'm like, okay, this is so beautiful, and like thank God it's hard.
Yeah. And that's one thing that Amberly said is like there's so much beauty. These are the best years. And she's like, because you know she's a photographer, so she's like, when I photograph like older couples, I always ask, what's like biggest piece of advice, or what's one thing you changed? I always say, I would have had more kids. I wish I was more present. You know, I miss those days. And honestly, me and my husband talk about that a lot. I always thought I was going to be a working mom. That was like my goal, and I've pulled way back from different roles in my life, because I just hear people say that all the time, just kind of like what Amberly said. Like, people always say, I wish I just would have been more present. You know, so like when I would try to multitask, I just like, not that it wasn't just like mom guilt, but I'm like, oh, am I cherishing these moments? Like everyone says I should, you know, I really want to like maximize that.
Yeah.
So,
well, Genesis says be fruitful and multiply. And I have held on to that for years, and just feeling so strongly about that, and feeling like we live in a really, really busy world when we just need to like slow down and slow down with our kids. And I know that motherhood looks different for everyone, and that's okay. You know, if you want 2 kids, beautiful. I want a village. I want a bunch of kids running around. I want I drive a 15-passenger van, and I want to fill it.
That's amazing.
And so
fill it. I do have a friend with like 11 kids, and I think it's super awesome. I come from a family. I only have a brother and a sister. So only 3 of us, but I have a ton of cousins. Yeah. And when I'm with my friends with 11 kids, I'm like, I feel like I'm like, they're all brothers and sisters. Like this feels like what I would feel like when I'm with my cousins, but they all live here. Like it's crazy.
It's really cool to see. Awesome. I love big families, and I feel like there isn't that many anymore. So when I tell people we want 7 kids, they're like, 7? I'm like, yes, ma'am. We want 7.
You heard me.
I mean, I'll take as many as the Lord will give me, but like if we had 7, that'd be awesome.
Where did the number 7 come from?
We feel like it came from God. When we were first dating, we both wanted a big family, but we didn't have a number. We didn't really care what that looked like. And 7 just kept like popping up around us. And then one day we went to a marriage conference. We weren't married yet, but we went to a marriage conference together, and we purchased a couple's Bible that was a almost what is the word I'm
like a devotional
like,
kind of thing?
No, it was like a study Bible for couples to do together. Yeah. And it had 7 slots for 7 kids. And
really?
I just looked at Blake, and I was just like, that's it. It's confirmed.
We're
having 7 kids.
And now you have the Bible framed on the wall.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, I always say I'll take as many as the Lord will give me, and I'm super blessed to have, 3 right now, and we're just in that season. We'll see where it goes from here, but I'm already ready. I'm like, okay, so we have another baby soon or what?
Yeah. You're like, oh, TikTok.
Yeah, literally. My husband was like, what?
That's awesome. Yeah, people look at us like we have 3 heads when people are like, so how many kids do you want? And we're like, I mean, we pretty much say what you said. I mean, however many God wants us to have. Because I mean, I think I'm open to a big family if that's what God wants, but I'm not like as many as possible. You know, it's kind of still, I'm also, you know, I'm a millennial. We're growing up in the same world where people talk down about it. So it's kind of intimidating, but I'm open, you know, even if I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4, or if God wanted to give us more, even that, people are like, what? You know, they're like, think it's the craziest thing. Yeah. And again, some people, maybe 2 is the number God gave them, and like they're super comfortable and confident with that. So absolutely no judgment. But it is kind of crazy, the world that we live in, you know, where people decide and they're like, this is how many we're having, we're done. You know, it's kind of just it's an interesting perspective. I'm the same way. I'm open, and people look at me like I'm just crazy. Like, you don't know how many you want? I'm like, I don't know. I know people who have 2 or 3 and stopped and like wish they had more, you know? So I don't want to make that decision. Like, I'm not responsible enough. I just want to have the babies God wants me to have.
100%. I think a lot of people want to be in control when God should be in control. Yeah. So just letting God take that area, and I'm completely content in that. Like, whenever his plan plays out.
And I feel like I don't feel like, this is like what everyone says, is a new version of you is born with every child. So, you know, like God is also still forming you into the woman you need to be each time you like create a new life and stuff. So it's not only about having the children and like thinking about that part. And actually, one of our mutual friends talks about this a lot. She's like, even her husband said, if you're having kids to make you happy, you're probably not going to be very happy because it's super chaotic. Like if you're
yeah.
just thinking about toddlers running around, that's not really like super fun. Like that part kind of sucks. And like we can all agree it's super
real
challenging.
loud.
Yeah. But she's like, I always just think about the Thanksgiving table I want in 20 years. And, you know, like those long-term things that are like way
There's
more
a big
important.
picture.
Yeah. That is like worth the few years of chaos, you know, like.
It really isn't that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said a few, but even if it's 5 or 10, like in the grand scheme of things.
It feels like, it's like the saying, the days are long, but the years are short. It's so true. I cannot believe that my daughter is 5 years old. I'm looking at her and I'm like, it was 5 years ago that I gave birth to you. Like that is absolutely wild. And so, yeah, you know, it's just like, I don't know. It's just so beautiful.
Life keeps rolling.
Yeah, life keeps rolling.
Keeps rolling.
You know, but in 20 years, it really is like, look at the Thanksgiving table or the Christmas table and like, how many grandchildren do I have there? How many kids do I have there? I'm like, I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, as many as possible, please.
Yeah, I would love that.
That's amazing. Well, when I was asking you some questions before this, you said that one of the most challenging parts for you in this season is like some of your quick reactions. So tell me more about that. Like, what are you struggling through? What are some of your tips and tricks of like trying to take a pause before you react? Like, how are you overcoming this?
Well, I feel like I am still battling trying to figure out how my fast reaction. Sometimes, you know, like I said, if Alex is screaming, because it does happen very often, you know, his nervous system is crazy. My nervous system is going crazy. And I just have that quick reaction. And so
what does that quick, like you say, quick reaction? Is it like yelling or like what does that look like in your brain?
It can definitely be yelling, to be completely honest. It can definitely be yelling. You know, Blake was away one time and I had all 3 kids by myself. It was the middle of the night. He had to go pee and he's like screaming at 3:00 in the morning. The baby's asleep. Juliet's asleep. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if my 8-month-old wakes up, she's not going to go back to sleep. And I'm just like, Alex, shush, like, please be quiet. And I'm like so frustrated. But then I laid awake for an hour and I was just like, I'm such a bad mom. Yeah. Like, I'm so
like,
sorry.
It's 3 a.m. He just had to pee.
I'm so tired. And he just had to pee, but he was just like not hearing what I was saying. And I was just like, I need you to, I was like, breathe. And so I'm like, I'll tell them to breathe or this or that. And then it's just like, no one's listening to me, and then I get. So I wish that I could just like sit back, because if I waited a minute or two, my reaction would probably be different than it is the first second that it happens. And so that's just something that I struggle with. I've struggled with it for as long as I can remember, especially, and then into mom years, obviously it's become a little bit more because I am constant with kids. Like they're constantly something going on, you know.
Definitely.
Juliet took this or Alex took that and and I'm like trying to figure out, okay, well, what happened and right? And so I don't know. I honestly right now don't have a lot of tips other than potentially just trying to take a breather and step back, or being more in the word. You know, I pray for patience with my children. I pray for that quick reaction to be more of a slow reaction. God says to be slow to anger. So I feel like in motherhood, my struggle biggest is anger, of just getting worked up about something that I don't need to. And so I feel like if I could work on that, I would feel really good about being a parent, to be honest.
Sure.
Like,
everybody has something.
But everybody has something.
Totally.
And
I mean, it's impossible to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Only God is perfect. And so I just listened to this in church the other day. It was like, only God is perfect. And I was
you have to
like,
remember that.
Yeah, you're so right.
It's so easy to feel guilty that we're not like hitting peak maximum perfection in every area of life. It's like, wait, that's actually non-existent.
Exactly. And you know what? Like, I'm present with my kids. We cook together. We do this and that together. I just wish that my reactions in some scenarios were not as quick.
Yeah. Well, even it's funny because I've gone to so many like business like conventions and seminars and listened to like just speakers and all kinds of different things. And what I've just learned in business, I can like apply, you know, to parenthood. I'm like, oh, that's good. But one of them is you can't control the first thought that comes into your mind, but you can control the second.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. And I always thought about that more like in regards to business, you know, whether it's procrastination or whatever. But now like I'm starting to see that in motherhood, and maybe even like kind of what you're talking about now is like, it's okay that like at first you're just like, I'm going to freaking scream, you know, Literally. But it's like the second thought is like, but I said I wasn't going to do this anymore. You know, you have to like, it's okay if you like can't catch the first thought, but it's like, at least I think it's beautiful growth that you're going through to even like want to focus more on the second thought and, you know, like still be like, okay, like kind of go with what you know you should do. I think it's like, it takes self-realization and
Yes,
like
self-realization.
monitoring yourself
Yep.
constantly. It's crazy.
Yep.
That's awesome. So you talked a lot about being present, which I love that. What I actually just really want to know, which is like way farther down in my questions, but I can't wait any longer to ask, because we follow each other on Instagram and stuff, and you like make your own bread. You make these extravagant meals. You make like everything from scratch. And I'm wondering, how do you keep your kids busy while you do things like kind of, I mean, for them, but for yourself? Like I'm sure find joy in like doing those things. That's why you take the time to do them. So how, like, what are the kids doing in those moments?
So sometimes it looks like they're in the kitchen with me, rolling dough out. Juliet really loves to roll the dough, like with the little dough roller, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Rolling pin?
Yeah, rolling pin. Thank you. I was
dough roller? Hey, we can call it that.
I read this thing that was just like, I think one of our mutual friends talked about it, was just like your brain is wired now as you have more kids to be focused on like the important things. So I'm like the dough roller, whatever it's called.
What's that thing I use?
Alex loves to crack the eggs. He's doing a real good job. He used to just, crack them and they would fall on the counter. Now he gets them in the bowl. Bella is on the ground playing with, those chip clips. That she's on the ground playing with chip clips, or she's on my back. I wear her a lot of the time. I literally made butter the other day and I had her on my back the whole time.
That's awesome.
They're just doing their own thing. I mean, sometimes they're in the kitchen with me. Sometimes they're outside with Blake. Sometimes Juliet's coloring. She loves to color. Dinner is easier to do really, really big because Blake can take them for a walk. Like sometimes he'll take them for a walk and I'll make a yummy dinner. And I don't know. It's just like, I love baking and I am so passionate about what my children are eating. And so I really love to make everything from scratch. Yeah. If I can.
That's so cool. One day I'm going to be a bread making woman, but it's just not my time yet. I have started juicing, but I will say, I read Hunt, Gather, Parent, it's like a huge book. If you've never read it out there, put it on the list. It's a good one. And it talks a lot about like involving your children. So I try to embody that a lot. And my daughter loves to juice with me. That's like my newfound passion this year, is like making cold pressed juice, because I was tired of buying non-organic juice from Whole Foods, but I love it so much. So I'm like, I'm going to buy my own produce and I'm going to juice a few times a week. But last night she literally stuck her hand in the juicer and hurt her finger so bad. And I'm like, all I can think about is how quickly a juicer can crush a carrot in her finger. Yeah. I mean, it was like just barely in there. Like, we're good. Her finger's still attached.
Yeah. Thank God.
And she loves it. Even after when she was crying because it hurt and it like barely even bled. It was like totally fine. It was like a split second. I was right there. So please don't call the cops on me. It was totally fine. I was like standing right there and everything. But she was even saying, juice. Like she wanted to do it more. Like she loves it so much.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to involve your kids and like, teach them. I mean, at some point they're probably going to touch a hot pan, and now they know the pan's hot, I
mean, my kids know how to cut stuff. Like I have those little like kid knives, and my 3-year-old and 2, when he was doing this, are cutting strawberries or cucumbers. I let them cut like things that are easy and teach them how to do it. And so I just, we live in a world where we're so focused on school, as in like just like traditional school, and I'm like, I'm gonna teach them how to bake bread. I'm like, I'm gonna teach them how to do like home stuff. One day they'll learn the other stuff. I'm not worried about it. But right now, like my 3-year-old can cut strawberries and be very self-sufficient in that area, and crack eggs. And so I mean, when I'm baking, my kids are either with me or they're around me.
Have you ever had any hurt, like, I don't know, injuries or casualties with knives and stuff like that? Like, does it get hairy sometimes?
Not that on the top of my head. I am a very chill mom, so I've definitely had my kids like fall. Like the first time we moved into our house, Alex decided to jump off the couch onto the tile floor. Great time. But with cooking, I can't think. I have a funny story about cooking.
Let's hear it.
But we were cracking eggs, and I want to say Juliet was like 3 or 4. And I am very strict about like swearing in front of my kids. It's a big no for me.
Yeah.
But she cracked it and it fell on the floor, and she just looked at me. She went, "Oh fuck." And I stopped at my dead tracks and gave her a look. And she said, oh, is that a bad word? I'm so sorry. And
Yes,
I
it
like,
is.
this was my, it was my second thought that I approached down, and I said, I changed my face and I said, yes, it is. Where did you learn that?
Yeah.
She told me
I'm
who
about
she
to
learned it
slap
from,
you.
and I'm not going to say on the podcast,
Yeah.
not call anyone out, but it was not me.
Oh my gosh,
but
that's crazy.
it's kind of funny though, honestly. Like I look back and I'm like, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
That it was just like so simple when the egg fell on the ground.
Hey, I feel you, girl. Egg
yeah.
falls on the ground. That's what I wanna
And those
say,
eggs
too.
are expensive. So
Yeah, she
I'm like,
knows
those are
it,
farm
too.
fresh eggs.
That's
So
hilarious.
I don't think
love
I've
it.
had any casualties though. They're pretty
That's
good.
good.
I teach them about like how it's hot and we don't touch it, and the knives, we keep our fingers. Like I show them how to do it with their fingers and stuff. So yeah.
So good. I love involving them. So cool. I love that you
It's
do that.
messier, but
Way messier. I know. Evelyn reaches in the juice part all the time. I'm just like, now there's beet juice everywhere. That's really awesome.
One time I made pancakes and Juliet sneezed in the batter.
Oh, you're like, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just like,
Thankfully,
solid. And I
thankfully
was
we're
like,
not
"Don't tell your
sharing with
dad,
anyone."
and we're
Yeah.
gonna still make these.
That's hilarious. I love it. Another thing I just can't wait to learn about that I didn't know, but our friend told me that you have great diaper bag organization. Like, I need to know about this diaper bag organization. Like, what's the secret? What's this like?
Packing cubes.
Oh,
they're
okay.
amazing. I
Interesting.
put one packing cube has diapers in it, and then another one has like extra clothes in it. I keep my stuff separated from the kids' stuff, and everything has a spot in the diaper bag. It's
Okay.
snacks. There's like a packing cube for snacks. So it's just like I open the diaper bag, I know exactly which one. I grab it out and I can do what I need to do. So it's fast.
So you only have one diaper bag for all the kids, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I only have one.
Because this is where I'm starting. This is the bridge I'm about to start crossing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, do you also carry a purse? This is
No.
what these are very organic questions that I
No.
need to know.
No, girl, that's too much. Okay, I'm simple. There is one bag and it has everything in it. I do like diaper bags that they have a mommy pouch, and so the front of it has just like little pouch for mom. I love those diaper
Cool.
bags. And so that's what I have. I have my one diaper bag. I carry 3 water bottles in that diaper bag. I carry diapers, extra clothes for all 3 children, snacks, and then like honestly poop bags.
Yeah.
And then my wallet and a couple little things that I want.
Yeah. Chapstick,
and that's
wallet,
it.
whatever.
Yeah, chapstick, wallet. I do have tallow cream in case we have a diaper rash or in case we get hurt. Band-Aids. That's about it. I
Okay.
bring the bare minimum.
And I feel like that was kind of a silly question because in my mind, I didn't think I was going to carry 2 diaper bags. But I'm like, okay, there's 3 kids. They all need different stuff.
No, I get it. I
Okay.
get it. When we go on trips to Disney, when we go into the parks, I have a separate bag for the big kids that have like multiple pairs of clothes because you never know what's
Yeah,
going to happen.
for sure.
But realistically, I try and keep it like very small and condensed to not bring a lot of stuff, because then I'm carrying a baby, a diaper bag, and then I've got 2 kids on my hands. And when the diaper bag's really heavy, I mean, those things are, they can get heavy.
For sure.
So I just keep them
I have
on the
one
small
kid
side.
and I have a very, very
Yeah.
heavy diaper bag. I'm like, what is in here?
Yeah.
Just
packing
adds up.
cubes. I'm telling
Okay,
you, packing
alright.
cubes are
I
it.
trust you.
Yeah.
I'm about to that point where I need to go back through. I mean, like I have one of my wraps, like it's not the wrap. What is it? The ring sling.
Oh, yeah.
It just folds up so good. And I
Yeah.
just like to always have it in the diaper bag because I never know if she just wants a nap, I can just strap her to me.
Oh,
but I
those
haven't
things
put
are
this girl in
the
a ring
best.
sling in many months. So I'm like, Megan, why are you carrying around a ring sling?
Yeah.
You know?
I
So,
keep a baby carrier in my car.
Yeah.
And so
That
whenever
was
we
my
go
next
places,
question.
yeah.
I've heard, or I even like other moms I follow on Instagram and stuff, they have like a lot of their stuff that would be in a diaper bag in their car, and then they
Yeah.
just have like a tiny like
Yes.
bag that they keep with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to study this part more.
Yeah, there's definitely some more things I have in my car, which is, like I said, the baby carrier and just other stuff. But if I go somewhere, I'm typically carrying my diaper bag. I have 2 kids on my hands, and then Bella's on my back.
That's all you need. You
Yeah.
just got to make sure you have hands for the kids. Okay, write that down.
Hand for the kids.
Yeah.
Hands for the kids.
Okay, got it. That's hilarious. And I know you have a lot of family nearby, which is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
I also feel extremely blessed. My mom lives less than a mile from me.
Beautiful.
It's amazing. And my husband and I used to think we wanted to move and travel and all this, which we still will probably travel a ton because that's one of our big passions and
Yeah.
loves of our life is just like exploring and leaving the country for a month at a time or something. So I'm sure we'll do plenty of that
yes,
at some
love
point.
that, yeah.
But yeah, I guess like how do you ask for help without feeling guilty is like kind of a question, or like how involved is your family, or like what does that look like? It's like boundaries and stuff, you know?
I don't really have a lot of boundaries. I've never had to put them up. My family and my husband's family are great. I mean, the biggest boundary I had, and it wasn't even one that I really had to put up. It was just I am really strict about what my children eat. So at either of the grandparents' houses, I'm like, this is what they can eat. This is what they can't eat. My mother-in-law and my mom buy snacks that the kids can eat. And so I'm just like really blessed to have family that cares about what I care about for my children, because at the end of the day, they're me and Blake's kids. Like they're our kids and we get the final say. And so I don't feel like I need to put those boundaries up with them because they're really good about respecting what we want. As far as my mom babysits all the time.
Praise God.
They love my parents. They're at my parents all the time. My mom has a pool, so they're at Gigi's all the time swimming. Today my mom watched them to get my nails done, and right now Blake has them at the house with my sister. Just my sister has an extra hand just in case with the baby. And,
For sure.
My mother-in-law doesn't watch them as much, but not because I don't want her to. She just is a little bit more busy. She watches my sister-in-law's kids a lot, and she has a nannying job on the side too. She's just a little bit more busy than my mom is. But my kids love it, Nana, and we go to dinner at least twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week at Nana's, at least twice a week, maybe sometimes 3 times a week at my mom's. We're always, at the grandparents' houses, and I don't know. I definitely have a unique situation, but the family is amazing. Like we are so blessed, and my family loves my kids. My kids love my family. And, sometimes I feel a little guilty and I'm like, hey, can you watch them again? But ultimately, like the grandparents love their grandbabies, right? Like they just love spending time with them. And so I'm just like, go to Gigi.
Yeah.
Have fun. My dad's name is Paka. So my daughter, Juliet, named him Paka. I don't know why. We called him Grandpa from the time she was born. And then all of a sudden when she was about 1.5 years, it was Paka. And so Gigi and Paka. And they're there all the time.
Superheroes, just saving
my
the day.
dad he's such a girl dad. And just loves the grandbabies.
Do you have any brothers?
I do not. It's just my sister and I.
He's a girl dad.
He is a girl dad through and through. When I announced that Alex is a boy, he had a little bit of gender disappointment there.
Oh.
But he loves Alex, and Alex is his namesake. He's named after my dad. My dad is Robert Alexander the 5th, and then Alex is Alexander after him.
So cool.
And so yeah, my dad is just like, my mom and dad are awesome, and so are Blake's parents.
Yeah, praise God for that.
Praise God, because I've seen horror stories.
Yeah, I know some people just aren't as blessed, or they have a great mom but not as much mother-in-law. I'm very blessed. All my family, for the most part, well, both of mine and my husband's moms at least, are both here. They're both amazing with my daughter. My daughter cuddles up on both of them, loves them.
Yes, that's awesome.
I'm always like, if my mom's with me, I'm like, well, it's like a Saturday. Could you just put her down for a nap? She's like, I'll put her down for a nap. I'm like, oh, this is like, it's a literal vacation. I'm like, so I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
And then you're going to put my baby to sleep. This is crazy.
Yeah. I will text my mom and I'm like, hey, can you come hold the baby while she sleeps so I can put laundry away? And she's like, yeah, I can.
The best. Literally.
Like, thank you.
Such an underrated blessing for sure.
Yes.
So I know something else you're really passionate about is like chiropractic care and also nutrition. You mentioned that a little bit. What are like some differences you've seen in your children because of how intentional you are about staying consistent in the chiropractor? Because I know a lot of people think, I'm also very passionate about this, clearly. A lot of people think a chiropractor is just if you have like back pain. But I know it can help so much with like focus, attention, sleep, digestion, like so many things that people don't realize. So is there any specific examples or details, that you've seen in your children? You're like, whoa, I will never miss another adjustment or something like that. Same with nutrition. Like what differences do you see? I
definitely see differences in the sense of, after my kids turn 3, so before 3, their gut is open. And so you want to build that foundation. After 3, their gut closes. And so after 3, I'm a little bit more chill about what they eat. I'm still against dyes and corn syrup. That's a big nose. Everyone knows that in my household. For sure. But if we're going out to eat and the French fries are in inflammatory oils, it is what it is, 80-20, but when they do eat things that they're not used to, I definitely see an attitude change in both of them. Alex is a little bit more emotional and sad, and Juliet's a little bit more feisty and, gives me a lot more attitude. Chiropractic care has definitely changed my kid's life. I mean, Juliet was born with her head turned to the right. I'm sure there's an actual term for it, but her head was turned to the right. And I mean, when I say Dr. Vin worked on her, so much to help to turn her head back so that she could turn both ways and not be stuck in this like right side.
Wow.
With Alex, he was born, obviously. I prayed my whole pregnancy that Alex was going to be my chill baby. God was laughing at me.
He's like, watch this.
But Alex had a dairy intolerance. And so, but we didn't know that from the beginning. And when I tell you Dr. Vin, my chiropractor, your chiropractor, worked on him every single day for like a week. He was working on him and working on him and working on him to try and figure out what was going on with him, and ultimately came to the sense that, you know, he had a dairy intolerance, and helped me so much in that area. TMI, but my kids' poops are like perfect.
Now they are, you mean?
Yeah, like
as far as just staying consistent and regular and everything.
Every day,
So
regular. I don't have to wipe because they're clean. Like, they're literally perfect poops all the time. My kids have always been great sleepers. Like, I have never had issues with sleeping babies, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Bella's my best sleeper, which is really funny because my other two were still fantastic sleepers. I've never had the 4-month sleep regression with my kids, and I don't know if that's a chiropractic thing or like a my kids thing. But I mean, we co-sleep, so they are right beside me, and I do actually think that plays into factor, because as soon as they start to stir, pop a boob in their mouth and they're right back to sleep. Chiropractic care. I mean, I've had 3 beautiful births that I attribute chiropractic care to. Bella had a hard time nursing in the beginning, and Dr. Vin worked really hard on that with her. And ultimately at the end, I mean, she's a great nurser. After, I want to say, maybe 5 to 7 days it took for him, but he worked really hard with her and got her nursing like a pro. And so I just feel like there's so many things that I see. Juliet hurt her arm one time, and Dr. Vin fixed it. Like, I mean, she would not move her arm, and she had one adjustment, and she was picking a lollipop up. Like, it was one of those things where I was like, I've got a lollipop ready, and I know her arm hurt. And he fixed it, and she took the lollipop with the arm that she hadn't been using for probably 7 hours before I figured out that like something was wrong. Because, you know, at first, you know, they get hurt, and I'm like, oh, you good? And she was 2, so there wasn't as much communication.
Right.
And so it took me a while to figure out, like, oh, okay, you're not using this arm. And Dr. Finn fixed it right on spot.
Well, and think about, like, we can pinch our neck where you like can't turn good, or you can't lift your arm, or your shoulder hurts, or whatever. And it's just crazy to me. And I didn't start getting adjusted until I was like in my 20s. So I didn't know any of this. But think about how long she could have like lived with that, or, you know, like not been adjusted back into place. Yeah. And kids fall and hurt themselves so much.
All the time. I mean, all the time. So yeah.
And I mean, I have my daughter, you know, she's a little crazy, but she's not a wild boy, you know, that's like jumping off of things. But even just, she trips and will smash the living daylight out of her head, and I'm just what would I do without a chiropractor? Like, she would probably be in a whole different spot already in 17 months. Like,
yes, Blake always says we go there so often because our kids get hurt that we're probably funding the chiropractor. I'm like, I mean, I had one time Juliet fell off the couch and she immediately threw up, which was not crazy. When I tell you, I got my car and I drove straight there. We think she threw up because she was eating something at the time and like almost like choked on it and she threw up. Yeah. But at that moment, I didn't know. Yeah, and so I mean, I drove her straight to the chiropractor. And I was just like, the amount of times I've texted them and I'm just like, so what do you think about this?
Yeah, you're just like on their doorstep immediately.
Yes. I'm so thankful for them. Like, we love them. My kids love them. And I'm so grateful for them. Yeah. I mean, Bridget was at my birth with Bella, adjusting me.
I saw those pictures.
Mid-labor.
So sweet. Yeah. So cool. I want to know too about like how you keep your marriage alive with all these kids, because, you know, we're just kind of, me and my husband have a great relationship. I'm very blessed, but, you know, it's just crazy at times, you know, and he's like, we're gonna have another one, and I'm like, and then another one, and then probably another one. So get ready, you know. But like we said, it's like such a short amount of time. Like, there's gonna be so many other seasons where we're solely focused on our marriage and retired forever together and only with grandbabies. But it's important to stay, you know, close and keep your marriage prioritized. And you even mentioned you are a co-sleeping family, which I love and appreciate. We're kind of, I don't know how to say it. We're just like kind of in between, where my daughter is like, kind of at the age where with the second one coming, we're wanting to transition her into her own bed, but we still kind of bring her into our bed. We're like, wait, how much do we care? And we kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
And I even told him, I didn't even specifically say your name because I know many moms that also co-sleep like you guys do. But I was just telling my husband just the other day, I'm like, some people literally just have all their kids in their bed. And he's like, I just don't know if I want that. I'm like, I don't either, but it's an option. Like, I want to talk about all the different ways we could go about it, because sometimes we're trying to like force her to sleep in her own bed. I'm like, how much do we care? Like, we have to like take a step back because in our culture, sleep training is huge and making sure this and that. And like, again, if that works for some families, that's fine. No judgment.
No judgment.
But did you know you were going to be a co-sleeping family, or did it just kind of happen? And do you love it?
I feel like as a first time mom, I was like, my baby's going to sleep in a bassinet. And my mom co-slept with us, so it wasn't that I was against it. I was a little nervous about having a tiny little baby in my bed. I just didn't know how that was going to play out. So I did buy something for Julia to sleep in. She said that was a big fat no. And so for the first couple nights, I slept sitting up with her on my chest staring at the TV because I was terrified to fall asleep with her. And you know what? I just did a lot of research into safe co-sleeping because I was like, all right, this baby is not going to sleep in a bassinet. We need to sleep. And so what does that look like? A lot of people judged me because co-sleeping is unsafe. And I was just like, co-sleeping isn't safe if you do it wrong.
Right.
So I did a bunch of research into the right ways to co-sleep.
Yep.
My husband was on board the second I brought it up, and he was like, yep, let's do this. And so we actually just added another mattress to our bedroom, and we have 2 mattresses beside each other. We have a family bed. I love it. I have all 3 kids in bed with me. Keeping the marriage alive, I feel like it comes down to a lot of intention of, you know, I am a firm believer that your husband comes first.
For sure.
You know, your children get up and they leave you to be with their spouse, as it says in the Bible. And if I've spent my entire motherhood only pouring into my children and not my husband, I'm going to have a big problem at the end, you know, when they get up and leave. And so I feel like just it does help with having family here, that our family are so close to us that I can call and say, hey, can you take the kids for a date night so I can spend some time with Blake? If that's getting up early and drinking coffee together or going outside or reading our Bible, or staying up later and talking or watching a show together, then just being more intentional about that time you're spending together and making sure that happens. And as much as like intimacy going, sometimes you got to schedule it. Okay. Yeah. I'm a firm believer. Okay. My husband for a really long time was just like, that is not how we're going to do things. Yeah. And I was just like, you know what, as we get more kids, I think it's okay. And yes, sometimes that's got to happen.
And then you're in the right frame of mind because you're like looking forward to Tuesday.
Yeah. Tuesday at 9 a.m.
You're like, yes, that's our time.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I am a big believer that he comes first. And so I got to make sure that that relationship is great. And there is seasons and time, especially with Alex, that was hard because Alex was attached to me.
Well, and the kids are louder about their needs, you know.
They are very loud.
I feel like it's easy, especially for a man, maybe not as much a woman from their perspective, but for a man to just, you know, go with the flow and just whatever, she's with the kids, and they, you know, it's easy to kind of just like let things slip over time. You know, kids are like, I'm hungry or blah, they're screaming, so it's easier to just like pay attention to them first.
Yeah, they need more.
So it definitely takes a lot of intention.
It does, for sure. But, you know, I think that also that having like a great husband and Blake is amazing. He knows those seasons too, and he understands like what we're in. Bella is a really, really good baby, and so we've been blessed with this season being a lot easier to be more together and whatnot. But even that togetherness is with Bella a lot of the time. I mean, we'll go out on a date and she comes with us and you know, we have a blast, you know? Yeah. It's just like that mindset change of, you know, this is the season we're in. It's so beautiful. We will not have these itty bitty babies forever. So like, we're going to bring her. We're going to bring her with us and we're going to have a date night and we're still going to have a blast. And it's so fun.
That's what I've heard is that when you have 3 or 4 kids, when you have one, it kind of feels like you're alone.
It does. It really does. I almost said that earlier is like, when I have one, I'm like, wow, I could do anything right now. Like I could run a marathon right now with one kid. It's so much easier.
Just throw them on your back. Keep going.
Literally, you just throw them on your back.
I love that. And just to kind of wrap up, I love how strong you are in your faith. It's something very important to me too. So how has your relationship with Jesus really shaped you as motherhood? You talked about, you know, a little bit just staying in the Word, staying present, staying, you know, patient and just like praying for God to like work on your heart. I feel like that's huge. It's just knowing that you can continue to grow and change, and the Lord can continue to give you more of the gifts of the Spirit and things like that, you know. But what are some specific examples where you're like, Jesus is the only way I get through my days?
I mean, yeah, sometimes that is the only way, because I just look at Jesus and I'm just like, oh my gosh, help me. I can't do this. Like, I wouldn't be able to do this without you. Like, you have given me such a blessing, but I have to look at you as an example too of how the Father is. And, you know, I really love worship music and prayer. Like, I feel like different people have different ways of getting really close with God, and I feel like mine is through prayer and through worship. Getting in the Word is great. I am not a big reader. It's something that I struggle with. I love to learn. I don't like to read.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So reading the Bible, I'm not as great about, but I love worship and praying to God, and just like praying over my kids. Like, I talk a lot about how my kids don't have nightmares, and I really think that that's because I'm very intentional about, like, if they did have a nightmare, which I can count on one hand how many times either one of my kids have had a nightmare.
Praise God.
And just like literally putting my hand on them and praying that second, and not letting the devil take them over, and having God, putting the blood of Jesus onto them. And so just like, I also think that God sees us in this season too, and knows that we're, you know, busier than we once were. And, you know, I teach my kids about Jesus, and like I said, Juliet has these amazing questions about God, and I'm like, wow, did you get that from me? Did you actually like listen to what I said?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just love Jesus. Like, I am not an emotional person, but I get emotional about Jesus. Like, the fact that he just like died on the cross for our sins, and that he loves us. And Juliet came at church and said like, oh, Mom, God made me for a purpose. And I was like, he did.
Yep. I tell my daughter that every night.
Yeah. And like, but he also made me like as a purpose. And even if that's just like Juliet, Alexander, Isabella's, and Blake's wife, or their moms, like, that's a great purpose.
For sure.
So I don't know. I just like love to learn about Jesus, and teach my kids about Jesus. We read a Bible story every night. Try to every night.
Yeah,
that's I don't do it every night, guys. I don't do it every night.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, practically, what does that look like? It sounds like you go to church,
yeah,
and stuff. But like, because my daughter, you know, is just kind of getting to the point where she's like understanding what's going on, and she loves to pray before meals all of a sudden. It's so cute. I felt like I was like dropping the ball, because she was like a year old, and we hadn't really been doing it that much. Like, we'll pray real quick or whatever, right, before our meals, but I'm like, I should be teaching her this. And it was actually my mom that kind of help. Like, she's like, oh yeah, I told her to put her hands together. I'm like, okay, good, you did it once, now I'm gonna keep it going. And now she loves it. And if we forget, she looks at me and puts her hands together. She drops her fork and puts her hands together. Like,
I get called out if we forget. Juliet's like, Mom, we didn't pray. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right, I'm so sorry. And so they take turns praying now.
Yeah,
just wait until they take turns. It's really sweet. But Alex just repeats what Juliet says.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, right? He just wants to do what she does. Yeah, I try to get my daughter to kind of repeat. I'm like, thank you for our food. She goes, food. Like, thank you for mama. Like, she just gets excited about each thing. It's like,
bless the food. My grandmother, my nanny, that I grew up with, she lived with us. She passed away last year. And Juliet, she must have made such an impact on Juliet's short time, because Juliet prays every night and thanks God for taking care of her in heaven.
Oh, that's
every
so
single time she goes, thank you, Jesus, for taking care of Nanny in heaven. And I'm like, that's just like crazy for a 5-year-old to say, but she's been saying it for a year. So she was 4 when she started.
Wow.
But it's every night is just like, they're so pure. I love that. Like, Jesus says that children are the closest to him, and I'm like, they're so pure. I just love it. They get so beautiful,
because they aren't like us jaded adults that have, you know, just so many questions and like, you know, just are so logical and stuff. Kids just have what they call it, childlike faith. That's why, you know,
they have faith. They just literally have faith. They're just like, I believe that.
Yeah, and I think that's so important to instill from such a young age, because I've met people who started to learn about Jesus as like just more of an adult, and it is so much harder to wrap your head around. But when I don't want to say like just because you teach it to them young, then they just believe, but I feel like because children growing up would be focused on looking for the goodness of God, it's like easier for them to see throughout many seasons. So then you can't question it because you're like, I don't know, I've just always felt him here with me.
Right.
So I feel like that's so important to, even if it is just a cute little prayer before meals or whatever, like just building that awareness and almost kind of like that worldview of just knowing that God loves you and like just kind of some of those things that are like instilled in you. I feel like matters so much as kids get older. So I love that you're doing that with your kids. Yeah. It's really powerful.
Thank you. I appreciate that because in this world, I feel like it's starting to not be the status quo anymore.
It's an uphill battle.
It is. And it's just awesome to be raising, followers of Jesus and disciples. I just taught Juliet about discipleship and what it meant. And
so how do you describe that to a 5-year-old?
I told her that we need to teach people about Jesus because there's some people that don't know who he is, and that we need to teach people about how much that he loves them and how he made them for a purpose. And her response was, I think that people in Paris don't know who Jesus is, so we should go there.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I think so too, Juliet. Let's go.
I know, right? I was like, okay.
Did you just call yourself a missionary? Yes. You're like, all right, mission trip to Paris. It's going on the books. That's amazing. I love that. Praise God for that. Yeah, I think that's really important. Also just teaching them to like embody Jesus and like show kindness and stuff. Like I feel like kids like to know when there's a why. If you're just like share your toys or just like these huge concepts, but when they just understand like Jesus was really kind, this is kindness. Even right now I'm teaching my daughter who's only 17 months old and hardly knows 15 words. No, actually she's been saying like 15 new words every day, which is kind of crazy, but I'm trying to teach her the fruits of the Spirit. So even when she's like acting crazy, I'm like kindness, patience, like even using those words and like echoing like this, like, Spirit of truth is important.
Yeah. I mean, biblical truth, right? Like I'm like, Juliet will get angry and I'm like, okay, we're slow to anger. It's okay that you're feeling angry. Why are you feeling angry? Like, let's talk about it instead of acting on it. I'm always like, you're allowed to feel the feelings, but you're not allowed to act on them. So like hitting or, if Alex snatches, like snatching right back, I'm like, okay, let's take a breather. But biblical truth is like slow to anger. Right. And so just teaching them all that good stuff and, who Jesus was, and then he died on the cross for her and for her sins. And if she does something wrong, like it's okay that, mommy and daddy still love her and Jesus still loves her. That, God is there, the Trinity. That's hard to explain to a 5-year-old, but
she has lots of questions.
She's got lots of questions. Even the why can't she see what God looks like when she asked about, Googling what God looked like. And I had to explain to her that, we don't see God, we feel him. And that one day when we go to heaven, we'll see God. But right now the people of this earth don't see him. And so there's no pictures of him. Like I said, but God's in your heart. And, I tried to explain it the best I could.
It's like in such, just like toddler language.
Yes. So but what crazy. She did say to me that blew my mind is she said, okay, we'll look up a picture of Jesus because they're the same.
You're and like, you get it.
Yes. I was like, amazing. I've done something. I've taught precious. You something.
Oh, I love her so much. That's amazing. So good. Well, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
I know sometimes in the thick of it, you're just like, am I surviving or thriving? What's happening? But
yeah, you definitely have those thoughts.
Yeah, no, I've learned so much from you, and I know this
is
gonna be so valuable. I'm always excited after these conversations because I'm like, after I have 3 kids or more, I'm gonna go back and listen to this and keep learning from these conversations. Once I'm even, because right now I'm like looking in the future, but once I'm in the thick of it, I'm like, I remember Hope said something that would really help me, so I can go back and listen. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for just sharing who you are. I know even before this episode, you're like, I feel like I'm just like playing, I'm just like doing it, but that's kind of,
I still feel that way.
That's kind of the best
like,
part.
How do you do it? I'm like, you just do it. You got 3 kids, you just do it. You throw one on your back, you give snacks to one of them and they're good.
Yeah. As long
snacks
as
are a lifesaver.
Yeah, for sure. I just bribe, I really didn't want to be this mom, but that's how I bribe her in the car because my daughter used to really hate the car. Like it was a really tough first year for me. Even one of our friends, she's like, oh, you got one of them that hated the car. It's like they either don't hate it or they just freaking hate it. And my daughter freaking hated it for almost the entire first year of her life.
That's hard. Yeah.
And so now I'm like, oh, we get a snack in the car. Although I think she's still a little confused what that means, because she thinks this one thing I give her is snacks. When I give her a different snack, she's like, no snack.
No
I'm like,
snack.
no, this is the snack.
Yeah.
I'm trying to describe, but we're learning. We're going through it. But
I
bribe with
definitely
snacks.
bribed for potty training. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I did the chocolate chips.
Yeah.
They were literally
Sometimes you have to.
organic chocolate chips sweetened with dates. But
Yeah.
my kids were like, yes.
All right, bribe with snacks. That's our take home tip. Bribe with snacks for car, potty, whatever it is.
Mom of 3, bribe with snacks.
Yeah, that should be a t-shirt for sure.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, cool. Thank you again. You're amazing. And follow us on our virtual village on Instagram, so you know when we post a new episode. I'm gonna do much better posting more consistently as time goes on. But more amazing moms and birth stories coming up soon. I can't believe we didn't even talk about your birth stories, because you have so many other amazing things to talk about. But we'll have to have you back on so you can share, because you have some
I would
really
love
cool
to.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
do love talking about birth.
Yeah. And you have some fun stuff that I think is just so cool about your births, like different themes and all kinds of stuff.
We
But
did. We have a theme for every birth.
so cool. Okay, we'll have to dive into it next time, because I would literally talk to you for like 3 hours and people are
Yeah,
never
I know.
gonna be like, what is this like 7-hour long episode? But thanks for being awesome. Catch you guys
you.
next time.